For centuries, we've been captivated by the story of Atlantis, a legendary city of impossible wealth and wisdom, swallowed by the waves and lost to time. It's a myth that feels so real we can almost taste the salt on its marble columns. But the truth is, the story of Atlantis is just that, a story. A philosophical tale told by Plato. But what if I told you that the reality of underwater cities is even more incredible than the myth? What if I told you that archaeologists have already found them? Cities with streets you can still follow, houses you can still enter, and tombs that hold the secrets of entire civilizations. These aren't legends. They are real places frozen in time beneath the waves. This is not a myth. These are the 5,000-year-old streets of Pavlopetri, a real underwater city discovered off the coast of Greece. And it's not the only one. Today, we're exploring the hidden underwater cities that actually exist. We'll walk the Bronze Age roads of Pavlopetri, uncover the sunken palaces of Cleopatra and Alexandria, and venture to the edge of what's possible, to sites that challenge our very understanding of human history. Forget Atlantis. We're going in search of something far more exciting, the truth. Part 1. Pavlopetri, the 5,000-year-old ghost town. Our first stop takes us to the turquoise waters of Vatika Bay, off the coast of southern Greece. Just a few meters below the surface lies a discovery that changed our view of the ancient world. This is Pavlopetri. At around 5,000 years old, it's acclaimed as the oldest known complete submerged city in the world. It was discovered back in 1967 by oceanographer Nick Fleming, and what he found was astonishing. This wasn't just a few scattered ruins. It was a complete town. Imagine swimming not over sand and rock, but over a fully laid out city plan. Spread across a huge area are the clear outlines of streets, two-story houses with gardens, temples, and even a complex water management system. Archaeologists have identified at least 15 buildings, all laid out in a sophisticated grid pattern. This wasn't some primitive settlement. This was one of the world's first planned cities, a bustling hub of Bronze Age life. What makes Pavlopetri truly mind-bending is its age. Inhabited as early as 2800 BC, it was a contemporary of the Minoans on Crete and the Trojans of Homer's Iliad. Analysis of pottery shows Pavlopetri was a major trading port, and the discovery of numerous loom weights suggests it was a significant center for textile production. For thousands of years, the city thrived. Then around 1000 BC, disaster struck. A series of powerful earthquakes caused the land to sink and the sea rushed in. Because it was submerged and never reoccupied, Pavlopetri is like a frozen moment of the past, offering a pristine glimpse into life 5,000 years ago. In recent years, advanced sonar mapping and 3D digital reconstruction have brought the site back to life, allowing archaeologists to walk its streets and see it as a living community. They've even discovered an extensive cemetery with dozens of graves, hinting at a complex social structure. Recognized by UNESCO, Pavlopetri is a tangible link to our deep past, proof that long before the legend of Atlantis, real cities were being lost to the sea. Part 2. The Sunken Palaces of Alexandria. From Greece, our journey takes us south to the coast of Egypt, into a city that was once the radiant center of the known world, Alexandria. Founded by Alexander the Great in 331 BC, it was a metropolis of staggering wealth and intellectual power. But just like Pavlopetri, a magnificent part of the city was destined for a watery grave. What many people don't realize is that a huge portion of ancient Alexandria, including its royal quarter, now lies submerged in the city's eastern harbor. Devastating earthquakes and tsunamis, most notably in the 4th century AD, caused the very ground to liquefy, making entire districts collapse into the sea. For over 1,600 years, this royal quarter, the seat of Cleopatra's power, was thought to be lost forever. Then, in the 1990s, French underwater archaeologist Franck Gaudiot and his team began to systematically survey the harbor. Under just 16 feet of water, buried in sand and silt, they found the ruins of Antirodos Island, the location of the Ptolemaic Palace complex. Gaudiot and his team have since mapped an entire submerged landscape of temples, columns, and the foundations of the palaces themselves. This was the heart of power, where Julius Caesar courted Cleopatra and one of history's most famous rulers held sway. And the discoveries keep coming. A short distance away, Gaudio also located the legendary port city of Thonis Heracleion, which was Egypt's main gateway to the Mediterranean before Alexandria was even founded. Like the royal quarter, it too was swallowed by the sea. Then, in August 2025, in a major operation at the nearby sunken city of Canopus, cranes lifted several monumental pieces from the depths for the first time in 25 years. Among them were a huge quartz statue of a sphinx and the lower half of a white marble statue of a Roman nobleman, which are now on display. Among the countless finds from these sites, one discovery sparked intense debate: a ceramic bowl with a fascinating Greek inscription. Some scholars translate it as Dia Christo Ogoistais, which could mean by Christ the magician. While its dating is contested, if that interpretation is correct, it could represent one of the earliest non-biblical material references to Jesus ever found. The work in Alexandria is a powerful reminder that history isn't always buried under earth. Sometimes it's waiting just beneath the waves. Part 3, the Yonaguni Monument, a Japanese Atlantis? We now leave the relatively clear historical waters of the Mediterranean and travel to the far side of the world, to a place where the line between archaeology and geology gets incredibly blurry. Off the coast of Japan's Yonaguni Island lies a structure that has sparked one of the most intense debates in modern archaeology. Discovered in 1986 by a local diver, it's known as the Yonaguni Monument. What makes Yonaguni so compelling is its appearance. It's a massive underwater rock formation with immense terraced platforms, sharp 90-degree angles, and features that look uncannily like man-made stairs and walls. To many, it looks for all the world like a sunken pyramid. On one side of the debate is Professor Masaki Kimura, a marine geologist who is firmly convinced the monument is artificial. He argues the sheer number of geometric features are statistically impossible to be the result of random, natural processes. If he's right, the structure could be 10,000 years old, built during the last ice age when sea levels were much lower. This would mean a sophisticated civilization existed in East Asia thousands of years before the accepted timeline of history. However, the scientific consensus leans heavily in the other direction. Most geologists argue that the monument is a completely natural formation. They point out that sandstone, which the monument is made of, naturally breaks along straight planes, creating sharp geometric patterns. The region is also seismically active, and strong currents could have easily sheared the rock into these block-like shapes over millennia. Skeptics also note the entire structure is still connected to the bedrock, not built from separate blocks, which would be a stronger sign of human construction.
So, what is it?
A spectacular geological oddity, or silent evidence of a civilization erased from our history books. Without definitive artifacts like tools or pottery to prove human involvement, the monument remains a tantalizing enigma. Part 4, the Cuban underwater formation, a 50,000-year-old mystery. If Yonaguni pushes the boundaries of known history, our final location shatters them. We travel now to the waters off the western tip of Cuba. Here, in the deep ocean, lies a discovery so controversial that many have never even heard of it. The story began in 2001 when a Canadian company was surveying the seabed for oil and gas deposits. Their side-scan sonar picked up something utterly unbelievable on their screens: a vast area covered in what appeared to be symmetrical and geometric stone structures. To get a closer look, they sent down a remotely operated vehicle. The video it sent back showed intriguing shapes, massive blocks, some in seemingly organized stacks and patterns. But here's where the story takes a wild turn. These structures are located at a depth of nearly 2,500 feet. For comparison, Alexandria's palaces are at 16 feet. A marine geologist who studied the findings, Manuel Iturralde, estimated that for these structures to have been built on dry land and then sink that deep, it would have taken roughly 50,000 years. 50,000 years. That's a period tens of thousands of years before any known civilization on Earth was building with massive stones. The discovery was met with a storm of excitement and heavy skepticism. But then the story went quiet. The reason isn't a conspiracy, it's a matter of practicality. Any follow-up expedition would be incredibly difficult and fantastically expensive. Drilling into hard rock 2,500 feet underwater is a monumental undertaking that has simply not been funded. Skeptics argue that nature can create bizarre and seemingly artificial shapes, and without physical samples, the blurry sonar images and grainy video remain inconclusive. For now, the Cuban underwater formation is the ultimate what if. It's an unexplained anomaly sitting in the crushing darkness, challenging us with what might be out there. Our journey has taken us from the proven shallows to the speculative depths. We've walked the 5,000-year-old streets of Pavlopetri, a city that proves civilizations can be lost to the sea. We've seen the treasures of Alexandria, where the world of Cleopatra is still being brought to the surface. We've pondered the impossible geometry of Yonaguni and stared into the abyss off Cuba at a mystery that challenges the very timeline of our existence. The myth of Atlantis endures because it speaks to our fascination with the unknown. But as we've seen, the truth is far more compelling. The ocean is the world's largest museum, and we've barely explored it. We don't need to invent legends. Real history and untold secrets are already out there, waiting to be discovered. What other secrets do you think the oceans are hiding? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to explore more of the world's greatest mysteries, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.